We'll be doing the Easter eggs and predictions for Season 6, Episode 5 of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so beware spoiler, not caught up. So I'll be dealing with the Earth storyline first, because the title of the episode, the other thing, refers to Coulson, May, and Sarge's storyline. And I will be jumping back and forth from their storyline and the Lighthouse stuff, because that's how we wrote it down, so just bear with me. So, yeah, this episode starts with May and Coulson in Tahiti, and the way they filmed this scene it was very eerie, similar to how Coulson found out about Tahiti in Season 1. So I'm assuming that was intentional, like parallel. So yeah, but I'll get more into why I think it was more intentional than it is, or you know what I mean. But we catch up with the Lighthouse, and apparently they put Deke in surgery because of the stab wound he got from Pax last episode. But someone pointed this out in a comment section of another video. I just wanted to mention it here because I thought it was funny. But it is funny that the actor of Deke, Jeff Ward, was up to series regular this season, yet he has only been in one episode, and the presumed dead character of Coulson has been in more episodes than the alive character of Deke, because so far Coulson has been in flashbacks and also hologram in the first episode. So I just found that kind of funny that someone pointed that out. So yeah, but we jump to Yo-Yo and Mac, and they're having this conversation and seeing how Yo-Yo's dealing with Keller's death and how she is dealing with like what she had to do. And she tells Mac that I'm getting used to losing people, which is it's referring to Keller and Mac, but it also extends to her cousin who we met in when we first met Yo-Yo in Season 3, Episode 11, who was killed, and then her friends who ditched her after finding out she was an Inhuman in Season 4, Episode 3. So she has lost a lot of people throughout the series, so I guess in a way she's getting used to it. But I don't know how you can get used to something like that. But yeah, we jump to May and Sarge, and Sarge has this reference saying, "My head's bound to catch fire," which is most likely a reference to the time Coulson was made the deal with the devil to become Ghost Rider in the Season 4 finale. So yeah, but we have Sarge tasked May in stopping one of the shrikes, the alien bird bat things, and shrikes are actually an actual bird in real life, so I'm guessing that's where they're getting the name. But during this fight scene, the shrike decided to do this like contortionist walk thing, and people are calling it the exorcist walk, and I'm not sure if it was intentional or not, but it's possible, so I'm just mentioning it here, just in case it is. So yeah. Jumping back to the Lighthouse, apparently old habits die hard for Yo-Yo, because she's now started going back to the blaming game, because last season she was blaming Daisy, Coulson, May for all the stuff that was going on in the last half of the season. But here she's blaming Benson, because she's trying to like deflect any of the blame for what happened to Keller's death. But she talks to Benson, and she says, "I've made hard choices before. Being right doesn't stop it from feeling wrong," which that's most likely referring to Yo-Yo killing Ruby, and also wanting or trying to get the team to let Coulson die last season to save the world. That's what most likely that reference is. But that right there, that line, basically is the theme of this whole entire episode of making hard choices, and it goes throughout the whole entire episode, even in the space stuff, and I'll talk about that later on. But since this is just focusing on the Earth stuff, I'll focus on that first. So we get to hear more about Benson and his husband. Apparently his husband was in a car accident and was put in life support, and after a few days he decided it's not right for him just to lay there and whatnot, so he thought the best thing to do was for him to pass away and be at peace. So yeah, but we like I said, we see Yo-Yo and how she's dealing with Keller's death, of making the hard choice of letting letting him die or killing him or whatever. But we also see it go through Mac and Yo-Yo for a conversation where we see that why he chose the director role over Yo-Yo, of wanting to he has to focus his mind on everyone, not just a single person. So that's that. But I know people aren't going to agree with me, but since it's a big theme of the episode, I really think that we did see the final days of Coulson, even if there are inconsistencies, even though I never really saw any. But the reason I believe it is the case, since it would parallel between Benson and Benson's story about his husband having being on life support, but it would also parallel between the beginning of this episode and the ending of the episode. Because the beginning of the episode had May being drugged by Sarge, so since there are so many parallels between Sarge and Coulson with different phrases they used throughout the episode, it would make sense that they would have paralleled that scene with May being drugged by Sarge, that Coulson would be drugged by May so he could die in his sleep. And I know people are gonna say, "Oh, I didn't kill him" or whatever. That May said, "I didn't kill him, but I'm gonna kill you." And the way that Sarge was asking was that, "Did you kill him, like murder?" But she did not do that. She would have drugging him was letting him slowly die in peace. That's what I'm assuming happened, because you saw in her face that she wasn't May or Coulson was slowly dying, and every time you would see Coulson get hurt or whatever, you would see May's face not very happy. So she was if she did drug him and was dying in his sleep, she would be at peace like Benson was when he pulled the plug on his husband. So that's what I personally think that was going on in that particular scene. So yeah. And going back to all the Sarge stuff and whatever, I've never really even thought about it until now, but there was a giant case of knives that Sarge has, for the Shrikes, I guess, to kill. But I wonder what they're made out of. What is so special about these knives? Why do they look all alike? So I want to know if there's an actual answer to that, or is just normal knives. So yeah. And I don't know how Yo-Yo even caught this at all, because I've watched this episode multiple times and I don't even see any similarities at all. But apparently the same material that made the monoliths are the same things that had created these Shrikes. So I have no idea how she even noticed that at all, but okay. And there were some people confused about what Benson was saying. As far as I understood, is that he's not saying the third monolith is life and death, because people are thinking that. He's talking about the Shrikes are the life and death scenario, because technically, Benson said last episode, I believe it was, that the Shrikes can turn people into zombies, so that would be life and death. So yeah, and we get to hear more, hear the saying of Patatutik again, and apparently Sarge says it's the death of everything. I still don't know where they're going to go with that storyline at all. So yeah, but one last reference, that it's just an extension, because I don't think we actually knew knew this detail when they first mentioned it, but Coulson wanted to start the academy again, and Coulson suggests that May actually becomes one of the professors at the academy. So I wonder if they're actually going to have a season at the academy, where May is one of the professors. Benson is one of the professors. Fitz and Simmons also one of the some of the professors. So it would be kind of cool if they actually do that for one of the seasons, like next season or whatever. But I don't know. So for the Earth storyline, the predictions, the only prediction I really have right now is, for some odd reason, I don't know how it would work out because of the age gap they said is about, he's been alive for 100 years, which I don't understand how, but I, for some odd reason, believe that Sarge is somehow a clone of Coulson. Because it would explain the same DNA, would explain having no robot arm, and knows the name Coulson, and even have similar phrases as Coulson, like I mentioned before, with all the parallels between the Tahiti flashbacks to the Sarge that May was talking to. And the only reason I'm believing it could be a clone now is because I said in episode 2 that all the stuff that they were mentioning about like Fear Dimension, LMDs and whatnot would not be the case, or being brought back to life wouldn't be the case. And they also now mentioned 2 other things, synth or a shapeshifter, so I don't think that will be the case either for who Sarge is. So yeah, comment down below. It's gonna be this is gonna be another part 2 like last week, and that will be all focusing on Space Team. So if you have any predictions for the Earth team, comment down below, and if I missed any Easter eggs or references, comment down below. See ya.